Fire me up, baby.
Scared money don't make money, you know?
How about them Gators?
Ah! Yes, sir. Good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of High Top Sports. Today, we are in the studio live to go over some incredible things, baby. Billy and the boys are back at it again in the kitchen, just stirring it up, boys and girls. It was you know what I loved about this commitment today with the Fletcher Westphal boys and girls? And you probably show, where's the suit? I already wore the suit early. You can't double wear it, okay? In the video earlier today, it was already worn, meaning you can't double dip, okay? It's bad luck to double dip, so I can't re-wear it again. But I appreciate you guys coming in here and hanging out. Billy and the boys got it done today, okay? It seemed like a nail biter, but after all the news broke out, it didn't seem to be as nail biter-ish once the things dropped. But I like the fact that it was down to the wire and down to the nitty-gritty. At least it felt that way. We went into this commitment feeling good, but still a little bit of question marks. And I've talked about it time and time again. I would rather not know. I love showing up to commitment day, and I'm on the edge of my seat on which hat they're going to pick. Nowadays, everybody and their cousin knows what's going to happen typically. So it felt like finally this one had a little pizzazz to it. So kudos to Fletcher. Kudos to the Gator crew for keeping it a hush-hush. Apparently, I saw a few people were kind of spreading the news. He knew that he was going to Florida. I think he said this on Allie's show, actually. He did an interview with her yesterday. Go check that out. I think he said that he was committed to Florida on the 1st, let Florida know on the 6th, which was 4 days ago, that he was dialed into the Florida Gators. And sure enough, he was. Apparently, it was never Clemson. Clemson wasn't even in the mix. Arkansas was kind of up there, and so was Georgia. Clemson was nowhere to be found. So it seems that these have hushed the DJ Lagway rumors, which are great. I love hearing that. Love to, that we're hearing all that good news that that's kind of being hush-hush. Because look, if this would have went to Clemson, the rumor mill would have went absolutely bananas. It would have went nuts. But look, good stuff here. We're going to talk about Fletcher here in just a minute. On3 dropped some new rankings today, and the internet has exploded. We have slowly talked about it throughout this show. I've brought it up a few times, and Dave's brought it up a few times. We've had a young man on Twitter, Logan Skinfield, I believe is his last name. He discussed it as well. There's an entire Twitter sphere about it where he kind of talked about how guys are going after him and talking to him, saying, "Hey, we're going to drop your stars and stats or whatever if you go to another school." So that started, and then there's always been this kind of underlining, hate that Florida or that On3 has a hate towards Florida. To be fair, I haven't really bought into it. It's drama. It's fans getting wild, but this one it's a little crazy today, and we've got to talk about it. We've got to dive into it because it's funny. It's a blast. I have my thoughts on it. And then we're going to talk about Tennessee. I'm going to start doing these weekly. Once or twice a week, probably, predicting certain schools' schedules and giving you my thoughts and opinions on where I think they're going to finish this season. Now, the Tennessee and Florida game, I'll get into that. I want to be as unbiased as possible. Not going to be possible, but I'm going to do the best that I can. But again, 180 people here on a Monday afternoon. Let's get this week started, boys and girls. Drop a like, smash the sub button. The family is growing like an absolute weed. We just hit 15,000 subs. We're at 15.1. Can we get 16,000 by the end of July? I mean, what's up with it, big dog? You know what I mean? 20K by the start of the season would be nuts. I'm just putting numbers out there. You do what you want to do. Now there's 300 people in here. Let's fucking get it. Good to see you. Happy to have all of you here. Love the comments. Keep the words flowing. Again, you guys dropping likes, comment in the comment section. Lets YouTube know that, hey, we're having a good time here. And lets people know, come on by. Come hang out with the dogs. You know what I'm saying? Logan Walker, yo, what's up, little bro? How you doing? Welcome back from vacay. Q Lee. It's true. They hate us with a passion. UFC, West Day, Robert, Chris Sorley. Ross goes to Tennessee, $100 bets, taking receipts. Don't do that, Chris. Don't be putting that negative energy. Robert says go Jags and go another football team. We're not going to get into that. All I got to say is go Gators. Garrett Berg, what's up? So Fletcher Westfall, first order of business here, boys and girls. 4-star offensive line, huge for the Florida Gators. Our 4th offensive lineman added to the bunch. The article that dropped today was it looks like he is 6'8", 335 pounds is what is being recorded. So how much of that is true? I don't know. I feel like this man's weight and height just keeps getting changed around and what's all kinds of business. So all I know is he's a big boy coming down victory lane here for us. Again, a big pickup. This was somebody that it felt like it was a Florida lock the entire time. Again, he's talked about having multiple offensive lineman coaches. He's enjoyed that. And even on Ali's show, he said, look, they're in everything school, education, school, football. I'm going there to get everything. And look, the boys are building the wall. They're putting together an absolute monster of the trenches. Jamonte Waller even tweeted out, we're not finished. So huge addition to the family. I made a video already dropped today in the spacesuit about Fletcher, a little more detail. So make sure you guys go check that out if you haven't. And but look, I'm loving it. Brian UB says, what's up, Sheldon? Most lit Gators podcast. I appreciate that, big dog. Scott says he's a big dude. He is a big dude. Shelton, my boy. What's up, baby? How you doing, man? What's up, Godspeed? Good to see you, boys. Good to see all of your beautiful faces here this afternoon. Let's see if we can get to 100 likes here before we keep this show rolling. But look, man, huge addition. Obviously, keeping us in third place at 247 with a total score of 270. We did the calculator. So here's what I want to do. I want to bring the calculator back out with us this afternoon or this evening and kind of see where this class is going to slowly start trickling up to. Georgia is at 26 commits. I've been talking to my Georgia buddy on how many more are they going to get, right? Where are they going to go? It's got to come to an end shortly, but they're obviously getting crystal ball to KJ Bolden. They got another crystal ball of a 5-star linebacker today, which is absolutely insane. So that put them at 28 because those two guys are more than likely going to Georgia. Chris Jones was also crystal ball to Georgia. Is he still going to Georgia? I don't know. I have a lot of questions, guys, okay? Could they pull a Texas A&M and hit 33 commits? God, I hope not, but that's the momentum they're headed towards. But enough about Georgia. Let me talk about Florida for a second here. We're at 270. What do we got to do to keep a top 5 class, top 3 class? Let's go ahead and add old Zay Mincy. We know he's crystal balled. Again, I know nothing's ever a lock, but let's go ahead and put him, add old Zay Mincy, Xavier Mincy to the crew. Zay Mincy puts us at 275. I still don't think that's even enough to touch Ohio State. Ohio State's at 282. So that would put us at 19 commits and 275. We're still going to be in third place, but that separates us from Michigan, USC, Notre Dame, Oregon. Mind you, all these teams that I just mentioned, Michigan, Notre Dame, Penn State, and Oregon, all have more commits. LSU have more commits than we do, but we're still much, much higher than them. I want to say our class is already higher with the addition of Fletcher, already higher than last year's class, which is incredible with a lot of time left to go. So Zay Mincy's obviously in there. LJ McCray is a name that keeps getting thrown around. Again, what do we know about that, if that's going to happen? I don't know. But we're going to go ahead and play games with LJ McCray. Why isn't he popping up? Come on now. I think it's 2 C's, isn't it? There he is. Okay. LJ McCray puts us at 282. So there we go. So now that would put us at 1920. Okay. And that would put us right at 282.97. We're basically tied with Ohio State. So 2 more commits. Those two seem pretty well locked in. Not guaranteed, but there's a lot of good buzz around those guys. So let's say those 2 guys are a lock. We're sitting at a tied for second place now in overall ratings. Still a long way to go to catch up with Georgia, but they also have 6 more commits than we do. Okay. A few guys that came out today, Wardle and Mack put us in his top 3. I see that being going to Texas. I'm not looking too forward to that too much. But Jordan Ross is a big one that everyone has their opinions on. Which Jordan Ross is? There's 2 on here. Okay, Vesta Hills. Okay, Jordan Ross would put us at 290, 289.83. So 290, which would put us well into second place. Again, 5-star edge. Wow, he bumped up to 5 stars. I don't think he was a 5-star originally. Okay, so that would be huge. That would be the third 5-star to the class. Would love that. Again, I'll see you guys in the comments having your thoughts and opinion on Jordan Ross. But look, I think we're in it for Jordan Ross right now, right? So that's going to be something that we definitely keep an eye on and see how that plays out. You did not miss the Tennessee preview. We're going to be doing that a little bit later on. So yeah, that would be huge. Obviously, Jeremiah Smith is going to be in the conversation. Miles Graham came on and said, no way. But guess what we do when we do the calculator? We do whatever the hell we want, boys. So we're going to add Jeremiah because I feel like, look, it's a long shot. But again, we're counting our chickens before they hatch. That's the name of the game here, boys. We know that. Jeremiah puts us at 296. So that's 22 commits at 296. Again, we're getting close to Georgia now. They have 26 commits, so we would be 4 commits less than them and only 20 points or so behind them. So that's not horrible. 18 points. 18 points. Now, that's a huge if. The Jeremiah Smith is a massive pull. But the point is this class is still trending in the right direction. Obviously, our name is in the bot for a few other guys. We're still looking. I even took a look at some prospects that Florida is still looking at, right? Who do we have on our list? Colin Simmons is another one, but it seems to be LSU and Texas A&M battle over there with Colin Simmons. If we're able to pull Colin Simmons, my goodness. LSU and Texas, that would be absolutely insane. That doesn't seem to be warm, just like the Jeremiah Smith doesn't seem to be warm either. Dylan Evans, that was a potential flip at one point. That seems to have died down. Haven't heard much more of that. Jamari Howard is obviously still in the mix for us a little bit, which is the cornerback position. Jordan Seaton, inside offensive lineman. Things have cooled down, but I was reading today that his commitment is coming up, but nobody really knows where he's going. It's pretty wide open right now, which is exciting to see. Jalen Crawford is another one that dropped his top 5 today, or 3. I think it was 5. It's like Texas, Florida, Auburn, I think. That to me feels like it's probably going to be an Auburn lock. So not looking too solid there. Obviously, Chance Robinson, Hawkins, those 2 guys are still on a potential flip watch. So there's a lot out there. A lot that could happen. A lot of, he say, she say, potential possibilities there. So we'll see. A lot of room left in this class. But Chris Parsons says, $5 super chat, man. Let's go, baby. Appreciate the love and support. Appreciate it. Have you heard about DJ Lagway, crystal ball to Clemson? Logan, you better stop it, big guy. You can get everybody fired up in here, bro, with that nonsense. He's up here. Oh, no, you better stop it. He is not crystal balled to Clemson. No, I'm looking at it right now. He's still Will Fong to Florida. Everybody relax. Everybody relax. Nobody panic. Nobody panic. Don't be doing that already. This chat is preschool vibes. Peace. Dude, Simple, you're so emotional. I don't know why you continue to show up. You just talk shit. So negative. Let's see. Didn't Bowens go up like 65 spots right after flipping to Uga? Yes, we had a whole debate about that. It was like 147 spots, I believe. It wasn't 67. It was a lot. So, all in all, good stuff. Now, we got to talk about this On3 situation because it's been nuts. The rankings came out today. It was updated, and our boys got absolutely just slaughtered in their rankings, okay? And it wasn't just us. There's a few other players, too. Denson was a big one that had a lot to say about it. And we got to talk about it because everyone's tweeting at these guys, and not Simmons, but Shannon Terry, the owner of On3, got himself into some debates here. He decided to answer to some tweets, which is interesting to me. I feel like that's what Twitter does, though. It allows for people, big heads to talk to just your everyday people, right? That's the only time you see big heads and CEOs responding to user 6912743. It's weird, but Twitter does that. That's what Twitter does. They rally up the troops and get you all flustered. So he responded to a tweet, basically because somebody would say that Chad Simmons, is biased against Florida. He says Chad Simmons does not participate in rankings in any form. He is our lead reporter and a great one. All football scouting and rankings are managed by Charles Power. He bashes Charles a lot here because everyone's questioning Charles, and he just keeps tagging at Charles. He was the head of scouting and rankings for 247 at the time he left for On3. There is no bias against UF, I promise. Now, obviously nobody believes it, right? The fact that he's responding to it means that the noise is starting to trickle up the ladder of like, hey, what's going on here? Right? I spoke with Nick Villator one time on a separate issue, and I go, look, dude, I was like, I know your boys hate On3, but I was like, I don't have any disrespect towards the beat writers at Florida. And he goes, yeah, he's like, sometimes we get a bad rep because we're associated with On3. All right, we kind of, he's like, hey, take it easy on us. We're getting pummeled around here, and this seems to be what happened. And it's like, look, they're getting pummeled. Again, no disrespect to anybody, but it just. Somebody said the best, like, hey, look, we need actions, not words, right? And and I'll get into the numbers here in just a minute, but I want to show you this next tweet. So somebody asked the question, does Newberg or Simmons have a bias against UF, even if they don't do the rankings? He goes, they are not part of the scouting and rankings team. They are reporters and talents, no input. I wouldn't even respond to that, to be honest with you, because you basically just told me, yeah, they're extremely biased. Now, look, obviously I have my bias. So we run a show here, we do our thing here, we have our bias. I think there's a level of like saying like, hey, yeah, I don't like this team. I'm going to have an opinion about it. And then trying to act like you don't have an opinion about it. This is a weird scenario here because if you work, obviously everyone's a sports fan. It's hard not to be a bias about a situation. But if I'm a Gator fan and I work for a company like this, a national brand, and I only report, I do a lot of reporting on FSU, naturally, I'm not going to have anything positive to say. There's always going to be a negative undertone to it. That's just facts. And if he has any hatred towards Florida or anything like that, then yeah, there's always going to be negative. It's like, yeah, I get it. He's just talent. He's a reporter. But people go to your site for information, for education, to get educated. That's how you have represented yourself. That's how you have marketed yourself. We know what I do here. there's nothing to shy about it, right? So I think that's the there's an issue there. There's a little bit of and again, it's not. I understand you can't hire people who aren't fans. That's just not going to work. But just don't report on teams that you're negative about. Like I could go over to the Pac-12 and report on all the teams. I've got no bias against them. I rag on USC, but at the end of the day, it's like, hey, Sheldon, you're going to cover the Pac-12 football schools because you don't have anything to do with them. It's like being a ref, right? You got to be able to separate it. He's not doing a good job separating it. And look, he may not have an influence on recruiting, but he definitely has an influence on the videos that come out, on the knowledge that's dropped, because he knows about it. He knows what's going on. I mean, we've seen this happen before where these guys in their comments have more than likely impacted a commit or two, right? Because they've dropped things earlier. They said things. They dropped the whole Austin Simmons thing well before it was known. Remember that? Completely made a whole video saying it's committed. Nobody said a word, and they were riding high on it. And then he had to go and eat his words, but what does he care? He got his clicks and he got his views. So that's the other part here, right? Everyone's like, well, it's nonsense. On3 is not going to go anywhere, though. And all this is just keeping them in the news constantly, whether it's good, bad, or ugly. And it seems to be like they just, for the fact that he's responding to these tweets, and the people that are tweeting this out don't have much of a following, tells me that he is, he's enjoying this. Because why respond? If you're not guilty, right, and nobody's bringing a question to you that has of a higher power. It wasn't like a 247 big head was like, yeah, there seems to be some question marks here with On3. Then if I'm Shannon Terry, go, hey, easy, right? That's another company taking a shot at you. If you got user 2479 taking a shot, right, and you're responding to it, why is it getting to you? Why is it bothering you? I got questions. High top sports recruiting site. Obviously, I'd be biased too. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's always going to be bias. That's just part of it. But it just seems a little bit heavy. Then it gets a little bit deeper here because here's another tweet from Denson. So let me go ahead and hold on. This is what Denson, who just committed to Michigan State, mind you, just a friendly reminder, On3 recruits tagging them. This is balls here, boys. And Charles Power had me ranked at number 19 in the beginning of the spring. Mind you, the spring was 2 months ago. Went up every website but On3. Somehow I dropped 70 spots. That's a ton. That is an absolute ton. Now, the other issue with that, right, is, hold on, let me pull up the stats here really quick. The other big, concern and question mark is that everybody's saying is like nobody's played a football game. So what's the reasoning here? If this was spring, right? No way. Y'all fucking with me? Shut up. Shut up. Shut up, bro. I'll get the fucking spacesuit on, bro. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. I don't see it. I don't see it. Stop it. Guys, I don't see anything. Y'all fucking with me? Bro. Y'all fucking with me? Y'all fucking with me? Y'all fucking with me? That's messed up, bro. I'm over here having a show. And this is what you guys are going to do? That's messed up, bro. That's disrespectful, Dom. I'll ban your ass, Dom. I will ban your fuck. That's messed up, bro. I'm doing a show over here trying to put on a good, trying to get some clips here, and you're going to pull some shit like that, bro? I should ban your ass. Do that shit again, you're gone, Dom. That's fucked up. That's a whole... Bro, you can make fun of me. You can call me fat, make fun of my bushy-ass eyebrows, okay? But that shit, that's fucked up, okay? That's too far. Too far. I'm in the middle of a show. The middle of a show. That's disrespectful. Y'all handle Dom, please. Unbelievable. Anyways, back to screwing over on 3 here. So look, Justin Denson obviously dropped 70 spots, but here's what and no games have been played. So let me take a look here and show you here. 4 of Florida's top 6 commits dropped an average 70 spots in the ranking despite 0 games being played. Okay? DJ Lagway, Miles Graham, Adarius, and Childs all dropped. Okay? Mind you, Miles Graham just got a 5th star in Rivals. So I don't know what 2 people are seeing, but is what it is. Darius Hayes, now ranked 118th nationally. Remember, Adarius, it was like 4, 5, and 6. We had the 4, 5, and 6 linebackers. Miles Graham is now 9th. Adarius Hayes is now 7th. Aaron Childs is now 14th. The only person, and I might get some flack for this, the only person that I'm okay with is the DJ Lagway drop down. Because they had the Elite 11 camp, there are a lot of people that weren't pleased with his performance. This is not me. This is not my thoughts. This is not my opinions. There was a lot of criticism that came out. So FSU's quarterback jumped up. We had some FSU guys in our chat getting all riled up about it and saying, talking shit. But look, and even Dave said, look, he's not a big fan of the Elite 11 because they take half of the season plus half of the camp. It is what it is. But I'm okay with that drop because they're going off his production. They're using the last thing they saw, which was up against every other elite quarterback with top wide receivers. I'm not here to argue that the wide receivers were tired. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just saying there is some validity with DJ Lagway's ranking dropping. The only person that I'm okay with. I'm not okay with the drop, but if you're going to drop somebody, his at least makes sense, right? The other 3 haven't played a game. We were hanging out at Friday Night Lights 2 weeks ago. So I don't know where this is coming from. Makes 0 sense to me, okay? 0 sense to me with the drop to those 3 guys. Remember when we had Miles Graham on, okay? And somebody tweeted, I think it was James Ridgely, tweeted out saying how much he loves Chad Simmons. And he laughed. He goes, no, I'm not a big fan of that guy. He goes, him and I are going to have some grown man conversations once I get through college because he understands, I can't say too much because these guys do control that. He was hinting towards that when that happened. He goes, yeah, I'm not a big fan of those guys in On3. And so I don't know how much power that we, the people, in our comments and the players, we, the people, we're always going to be upset. We're fans. We're fanatics. We're always going to be rowdy. That is what it is, right? But when you start upsetting players, right? If I'm a player at some point, and their issue is because right now they hold, it's a monopoly with On3. They control the camps. They're doing a great job with marketing and creating these NIL camps and these meetings and whatnot. So if you get invited to that, it's an honor to go. At some point, though, if a big guy gets screwed, a top talented player gets screwed over or feels like one of his boys gets screwed over, it's going to take a few of them to go, no, I'm not going to that camp. You guys disrespect us. You pick and choose based on what we tell you and how we communicate with you and how we function with you and whether or not we tell you how we're feeling that day or whether or not we text you back. That's what's really driving the rankings. It's not about how well we play. It's not about what we're doing. Again, a big thing, and this is a huge criticism that happened last year, and we said it, and it's not necessarily a knock, but Arch Manning. We know why Arch was. Bro, that guy was not a perfect scorer. The guy played at like 2A against 9th graders. Like, you're simply going off the fact that he's Arch Manning, and you know that having Arch in your top rating is going to be good for clicks. And that's unfortunately where things are headed, and that's what's frustrating to me. But look, it's frustrating. And again, everyone says don't use them. Look, 247, in my opinion, is probably the best with just staying kind of even keel with things. They don't move too quickly. Outside of being burned by that Kermani McLean situation, because I was a part of that, they do a pretty damn good job. Rivals, I've never really followed too much. I might start following them a little bit more. It's a little clunky in my opinion, just their sites and the way it looks. They do have some good data there. Obviously, ESPN's an absolute joke, so I'll never use ESPN. But yeah, it's very frustrating. As you guys are all frustrated, and look, I know what's going to happen is all these fans are going to come out and say, Florida's bitching again. I'm sure some Tennessee guy will make a video saying, Florida's bitching about their rankings. Look, at the end of the day, it's just a number, right? If it takes us down 10 points because On3 wants to screw with our rankings a little bit, it doesn't control what happens on the field. We know that. But now you're messing with these kids' money because where they come out of high school and their value, that's going to affect the NIL evaluation, right? And that's part of it. It's not the entire thing, but it's definitely a part of it because if it comes out as a 5-star, he's going to be able to get more deals coming into college versus if he's a 4-star. That's just a matter of fact. It's like a first-round draft pick versus a second-round draft pick. That signing bonus is going to be a lot bigger. So you're playing with kids' money now. Before, it was just a little bit like kind of playing with the schools, but now you're starting to attack the kids. And I think that's where the pushback is going to start becoming more and more as we go on with this situation here. So we'll see. But make sure you guys drop a like. We got 350 people in here, which is incredible on a Monday. I really appreciate you guys coming in here and hanging out. Again, subscribing, dropping some love means the absolute world to me. So we'll see. Player rankings don't matter once you get to college. Everybody has to prove themselves. Exactly. And I totally agree, right? I totally agree. But look, you got fans that follow recruiting in the offseason. We care about this. This means something to us, right? We're chasing something. These numbers and metrics, yeah, I understand they don't mean anything on the field, but it gives you an idea. It gives you a reference to how are we doing? How is Billy performing off the field? It's a number. That's why it was created in the first place. So it's very easy to discredit it and say, oh, it doesn't matter because once they get on the field, who cares anyways? And you're right. But right now, when they're not on the field and we're trying to gauge how well the class is doing, how well Billy is performing in the recruiting, this is all we have. So there has to be, we need to have an even keel and even ground to this, right? That's my thoughts on that. But look, I mean, how much of this will change? I don't know. I think we're on a good path here. I think it's on a good start. I definitely think there will be a meeting about this saying, hey, if at this point, right, perception is reality. So you can come on here and you could tweet these things just like he did right here, saying, Chad Simmons does not participate in rankings in any form. He's our lead reporter. And somebody even said, like, how did you drop Waller? And he goes, look, he may have got it wrong on Waller. Maybe he's missing a beat, whatever it may be. I can assure you there's going to be a meeting here because, again, perception is reality. If the perception is that On3 is biased against Florida and possibly other schools, it's going to eventually start to become, it's already there. We're already at the reality point. And if I'm Shannon Terry, it's like, look, man, this is a massive school. Now, he did make a good point, made a great argument. And this is something that I was talking with Professor the other day, is the team they've hired for Florida. There is a massive beat writer team for Florida. I feel like it continues to grow. There's like 6 of them, it feels like. It's insane. They keep hiring more of them. And it's just like article after article after article. And there's a ton of information on the On3 side of things for Florida football. It's incredible. And what I was saying was the professor is when I went over to Colorado trying to get kind of a gauge of like maybe is there any like recruiting news going on that I'm just missing? Nothing. Not a word. The writing for them is atrocious. And a good point him and I discussed was, well, look, it makes sense. They obviously probably didn't have any writers that way because why would you? It was Colorado. And they're probably a little hesitant to hire anybody for Colorado at this time because they don't know how long it's going to last. So all of that makes sense. And again, he's why would I bash a team? Why would I bash Florida when I have put so much money, i.e. hiring all these people? That's a good point. That is a good point. But again, we're still going to talk about it. We're still going to be reading it. And again, we don't have any disrespect, myself anyways, doesn't have any disrespect towards the Florida guys. Not at all. So we'll see, guys. It is an interesting one. It is an interesting one on how it's all playing out. But this definitely blew up today, for sure, more than it has in a long time. And again, I think, look, they like to do their, quarterly updates of the rankings. It gives them something to talk about. I appreciate it. But at the same time, where is it coming from? I think that needs to, that would help them a little bit, right? You drop somebody 70 spots. You drop Aaron Childs from the 6th ranked linebacker to 14. I want to know why. What made you want to drop him 10 spots? There needs to be a little blurb for each guy because think how many players are moving around. You move around the top 200 guys. You just shuffling around. How much work is he really putting into this? And I'm sure he's putting in a lot. I'm not questioning his work ethic here, the Charles Power guy, but I want to know why you moved him. You tell me why you moved him. Then there's no more question marks. But you're just moving kids around. There's no rhyme or reason to it. And that's a lot to move around. You know why? And maybe my brain doesn't work that way. But I see all these rankings. I saw a few lists just come out the other day. It was like top coaches top coaches, top quarterbacks for the SEC. My God, how are we even ranking this shit? How are you ranking top coaches? Like, I don't even want to argue about it. You can't. It's so hard to gauge, like, going into this season, who's the best coach in the SEC. Like, they're lists. They're fun to argue about. People enjoy arguing about them. I get a headache because you go to talk about it, and it's like you could argue either one till you're blue in the face. It just creates dilemmas. However, if you're gonna move somebody around, you got to give me a reason why. And I think if they start doing that, maybe it'll change things up. I don't know. Again, appreciate you guys hanging out here with me today. Over 300 people here on a Monday afternoon. I mean, my goodness, I'm blessed, and thank you guys for having you guys here. You guys are still arguing about Ross. I'm still fired up about Dom for effing me over about the Ross bullshit. Okay? Shit got me pissed off beyond I am. All right, boys and girls, we're going to talk about it now. Tennessee's, I did put a poll out there. Some of you guys voted. I appreciate you guys voting. Again, we're going to start doing this, weekly. My prediction for certain teams. That should not say hashtag Big 12. I messed up there because I was going to do UCF, but everyone voted Tennessee. All right, let's go over to the Tennessee board here. And hope you guys like my graphic. I think it looks pretty fancy there. Don Keedick says, $2. Moving their rankings around midsummer is weird to me. I agree, man. I agree. Sorley is usually on point, but he's missed before. Love that guy, but he's missed before. You know what I'm saying? Keeping me on my toes. Yeah, keeping me on my toes is right. All right, boys. So look, I was looking at the schedule when I was putting this little graphic together. And we're giving Georgia shit for their easy-ass schedule. Look at this cupcake with a cherry on top with extra sprinkles with the side of a milkshake of a schedule, boys. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding? How are they just squeaking by? What is this? What is this? Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. They're out of conference schedule is just an absolute joke. I can't believe it. Anyways, let's move on from that. I don't want to get too carried away. So first game's obviously against Virginia. Milton's in here coming in feeling hot and heavy. Lost some guys obviously to the draft, but it's Virginia. It's an ACC team. I don't think they got what it takes. Gonna be honest with you. I think they get the W against Virginia. Week 1, they're coming out swinging. They're fired up. Had a good game against Clemson, obviously, in that bowl game. So I think they get the W easy, no problem. Okay. Next, I think this is Austin Peavy. Obviously, this is a no-brainer. Not even going to waste our time with that. That's a W there. Now, for the this game here, the Florida game, to be fair, because I want people to realize like that I'm not trying to stir any shit up, I'm just going to put a toss-up. Because I'm not going to sit here and like, it would be ridiculous. I'm not going to sit here and pick. I'm just not going to. Okay? So I'm not going to waste my time. I'm going to put a toss-up. I saw that. I saw a few people were doing that. And I go, you know what? That's fair. I like that. Because sometimes it's hard, right? Sometimes it's hard to make a decision. So next team is UTS, Southern Missouri. I don't know who this team is. This is ridiculous. This is a basketball school. Obviously a W. Okay? So right now they got 3 wins. Toss up with the Florida Gators. Okay? Pretty case schedule so far. Then they got the Gamecocks. I don't know if it's at home. Let me double check where this game is at because that's going to be huge. It's at Tennessee, which is massive. Now, mind you, they got absolutely clapped last year against South Carolina. Okay? That's a big one there. Getting clapped against South Carolina. Spencer Rattler is coming back, obviously. Look, I'm high on the Gamecocks this year. I'm extremely high on the Gamecocks, but I also know I'm sure Tennessee is not happy with how that game went. And Spencer Rattler is a cocky son of a bitch, and he didn't hold any punches when he threw 6 tutties against Tennessee last year. You're going into the Vols. At this point, South Carolina, let's see who South Carolina has played up until this point, because that's going to make a little bit of a factor, in my opinion. They're going to play Georgia, Mississippi. They're going to play Furman, Georgia, Mississippi State, then Tennessee. My goodness, that's affecting me here. But I really think the Gamecocks are going to be cocked and loaded this year, and I gotta go with the Cocks here on this one. I just think they're dialed in. I think Rattler's going to have his best year he's had, which isn't going to be much, but it's going to be his best year, and I think they get it done. Next we've got A&M. The hype behind A&M is ridiculous. I got to be honest with you. I've said that. I don't believe it, and I'm not going to believe it now. Texas A&M is going to be playing at Tennessee again. I don't think Tennessee loses back-to-back home games. Okay, they're not going to lose to South Carolina and then lose to Texas A&M. I think if they're going to lose one of those games, it's going to be South Carolina, and they're going to beat Texas A&M. Some of you may disagree with me on that, and that's fine. I'm just not sold on Texas A&M yet, and I'm not sold on Tennessee either. Okay, I said it last year. I said they're going to be they're going to be like the Joe Burrow LSU team, right? Lightning in the pan. And they weren't quite that good, obviously, because they didn't win. But, that team was lightning in a bottle, in my opinion. I could be proven wrong come this year, but I still think it's lightning in a bottle. Texas A&M, I have no clue where the hype's coming from. There's an A&M guy hit me on Twitter saying that I was completely absurd and I'm an idiot and that they've got a great quarterback and a great recruiting class. I guess he forgot that they all left and either, smoked marijuana and got kicked off the team. But whatever. Besides the point. I don't think they get it done. I think they lose. Alabama. Alabama's an interesting one. I feel like there's the noise. I'm just going to put the L there. The noise has been really weird for Alabama this year. I don't know how, the quarterback room is very, unorthodox. I know they took the kid from Notre Dame, but I saw, the rating the quarterbacks. They didn't even have him as number one, the starting guy. So I don't know. But obviously, Saban always finds a way, and I think until he doesn't find a way, you always got to trust in Bama. This game is circled on Saban's calendar. They're playing in Alabama this year. They don't get that home field advantage. You rush the field against Nick Saban, they probably get absolutely blown out in this game, to be honest with you. They're going to get absolutely clapped here. So you can see later on that one, boys and girls, they're getting smoked. They're getting the absolute smoke show from Roll Tide there. Then they're going to play Kentucky. You got to get the W there to Tennessee. I think Kentucky is a horrible football team. They were a horrible football team last year. Well, what does that say about Florida if they beat Florida? Yeah, we had a horrible game. We lost that. We beat ourselves. We should have won that game. I'm pretty sure they got a quarterback in the transfer portal, but lost a lot of guys. Lost KV Smoke to the portal. I just don't. I'm not sold. I wasn't sold on that team when they had Will Levis, and I'm still not sold on the team now. So they didn't really give me any reason to believe last year, and there's even more little reason to believe this year. And look, I think Tennessee's going to get it done now with this little bumpy road here with South Carolina, A&M, Bama. That could cause a little bit of a bump going into that Kentucky game. But at this point, Kentucky is probably going to be at its wits' end. I think, how last year Kentucky was staying afloat and then kind of just fell off, right? Just fell off the wagon at that point. At this point, Kentucky will probably have been falling off the wagon. Before we move on, though, again, we have 335 people in here on a Monday, which is awesome. I love it. Again, thank you so much for helping grow this family. Drop a like, subscribe, show that you love and you care about the show, and lets YouTube know that, hey, you guys are enjoying what you're watching. It means a lot. So we'd love to see if we can, tickle 200 likes before the night's over with. That'd be fantastic. But again, appreciate you guys' love and support as always. Next, we have UConn. I mean, this schedule is Devin Leary. Thank you, Cole Prescott. Appreciate you. Yeah, I knew they got a transfer quarterback, and I just couldn't remember who it was. I'm not a big believer, but yeah, Leary. Thank you guys. Trying to remember every quarterback, every transfer. It's like the NBA. It's like professional football now, right? You got guys changing teams and jerseys. It's like I can't keep up anymore. It's a lot. Leary's coming off a pec surgery and can't participate until the fall. He won't be ready. Thank you, Chris Sorley. Always got the input there. Yeah, I'm not sold on it, boys. UConn. UConn's a basketball school. We're talking about the football schedule, so that's obviously a no-brainer. It's funny, my buddy today goes, hey, man, why don't you talk about UConn football? His cousin plays at UConn. I was like, because they fucking suck. I was like, what? I'm going to talk about UConn football? Get out of here. So a nice little cake, easy W. If you see here, all their W's so far are cake games, mind you. So they've got 5 wins, 2 losses, and a toss-up. Look, that rival game's a toss-up. I don't care if Tennessee is favored to win the game or Florida's favored to win by 20. It's always going to be a toss-up. It's like Florida, Georgia. So that's why I'd rather leave it be. The Mizzou game. The Mizzou game is going to be interesting. Mizzou is kind of like one of those teams that could ruin your season. They're like a Vandy in a way, and they could really mess you up. It's at Missouri going into November. At this point in time, let's say they're 5-4 or 5-3. Still, kind of pushing towards the end there. Do they get the W over Mizzou? I feel like I'd be a hater if I said no. Or yes. Or if I said no. I feel like I would get a lot of hater. Look, for my thought process on how I have them, they should beat this Mizzou team. They should. But we know what Mizzou can do. It just depends on what Mizzou team shows up. And again, it depends on how Tennessee is feeling. Georgia's going to steamroll these cats. It's going to be fun to watch Georgia next year. It really is. Just with Carson Beck, it's gonna feel new. It's gonna feel fresh, and the pressure is going to be at an all-time high for Georgia and Kirby Smart. Surprisingly, especially with the class that they're pulling in. Not to the pressure you think like they gotta like shine, but everyone's gonna wonder: can you continue this? Are you going to be able to create the dynasty? Are you going to be able to take over the reins for Nick Saban? This is going to be the year that he does that. So it's gonna be fun to watch. But they're gonna take an absolute ass whooping. Now it isn't Tennessee. It is in Tennessee. You could almost throw a T on this game. Because it is going to be in Tennessee. And look, Tennessee is an incredible football stadium to play in. It's insane. I would choose that over Death Valley for LSU, the real Death Valley. But yeah, this game's definitely going to be an L here. And but look, it could be one of that game where they storm the field, like that Bama situation. Very, very well could be. We'll see. And then Vandy, obviously, I think they're going to get the W here. Because at this point, even if they lose to Georgia, they'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wins, 7 to 8 wins, depending on those Florida game. This could be their 9th or 8th win, depending, and a pretty healthy season. Again, not the season they're looking for, but that South Carolina game, you could probably put a T on that, but Bama is definitely going to be a loss, and so is Georgia. So there's definitely 2 losses at least. The South Carolina might be a little bit of a stretch. Florida, I'm going to put a T on. I missed the Don Keating name. Don Keating? Still not getting it. North Florida white trash. You bastard. Oh, man. But there it is. There's my prediction there for the Tennessee Vols. Again, obviously being a Gator fan, I don't want to be. I'm trying to be, non-biased. I think this is healthy. I think Tennessee fans, outside the crazy ones will think like, okay, this is a fair. The Gamecock one, they might feel good on, but you could change that game for the A&M or the Mizzou game. I feel like there's a third loss lingering somewhere. Again, the Florida loss is going to be, or Florida game is going to be. I don't want to speak to it, so let that be. Like I don't want to. I feel like if I put an L here, because that's obviously what I think, I'm not going to put a W. There's no way I put a W. I tarnish the entire schedule. You know what I mean? So I can't do that. I don't get the Don Keating thing. I'm not picking it up. I'm just not picking up what you guys are putting down. I'm sorry, but I'm not. I'm saying it over and over and over again, and I'm just not getting it. Oh, man. It's going to be a cold night at Mizzou. Yeah, look, the Mizzou game, I could put like a little asterisk by it if you wanted to, because that game is going to be close. It's going to be close. I really think so. I think Milton is a little bit overrated. Tennessee is beating South Carolina. You think so, Atlanta Weather? Look, I think either that game or the A&M game are going to be tough. I think that they could more than likely win that game, but I believe that it's Spencer Rattler's year. I hope it's not. I'm not a big fan of Spencer Rattler. I think he's trash. But I think he's got enough confidence right now in himself that he can do a good job, and it's early enough in the season where he might find himself doing well. Now, they do play Georgia and Mississippi State before this game, which could cause a little bit of a bump. But we'll see. Yeah, Mizzou, man, they're just Mizzou is like they suck. They're worse than Vandy, right? Because they never do enough to be relevant, but they always have a good enough team that you just can't walk over them, right? Vandy, if you're a good team, you just show up and leave, right? Unless you're Florida last year. But Mizzou, I don't care how good you are, you always got to keep your eyes peeled for them. They're going to only win 5 to 6 games, but they're out of those games, though, they're going to be tickling people. They're going to be giving people a scare for sure. So, look, I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, let me know down in the comments that you guys enjoyed the Tennessee schedule breakdown. I had a good time doing this. Obviously, we're going to do more. I want to do UCF breakdown. I think that'll be fun. Georgia seems boring, but we'll probably end up doing it. Florida, I obviously everyone wants to know my Florida prediction. I'm too much of a fan. I can't pick them to lose. My mind doesn't work that way. I'm sorry. You can say, hey, Sean, you suck. Whatever. What the fuck do you mean to do? Sit here and put an L next to Florida? Like, what? I don't believe we're gonna lose any game. That's how I think. It's how I function. If I'm Coach Billy, I'm not walking in and going, we're gonna get about 6-7 wins here today. No, I'm showing up thinking we're gonna win every single game. So I can't sit there and pick. That's why I didn't even pick the game. Like, I can't have that. David, you're always invited on the slander. Oh, you mean like to come on the show? I don't know. That's a good question. Sorry. because you be getting wild, David. You know what I mean? I got to keep you kind of locked out to once a week. I bring you on here 2 or 3 times. You start getting, booze starts flowing, and you start getting reckless. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, Mizzou's good 1 year, then sorry, right? They're kind of just like a wishy-washy team. You don't know what Mizzou you're going to get. And all of a sudden, they've got a quarterback, and they don't. They're like your high school girlfriend. You know what I mean? You don't know what you're going to get when you show up at school. You don't know who's showing up. You just pray to God that you don't get yelled at. What's funny is my high school girlfriend's my wife. I love it here. I absolutely love it here. Well, boys, I mean, what a show. 400 people in here hanging out with us this afternoon. I mean, this is absolutely incredible on a Monday. Love you guys. Like the video. Thank you, not sir. If you guys missed it, we've already talked about Westfall. We talked about the On3 drama that's been happening and their slander against Florida. We just did the Tennessee schedule prediction. There it is. If you guys are, liking it, loving it, let me know down in the comments who we should do next time. We'll do more. I enjoy doing these, and we're getting close. Obviously, we're less than 50 days away. I think we've got to start, cranking some of these out before the season starts, because once the season starts, obviously, none of that matters anymore. But let's see if we get 200 likes, boys. Poker stream next. I've been slipping, Scott. I've been slipping on the poker streams, man. I've been having a good time, though, making all this content for you guys. I really have. I really enjoyed it. So, last thing before we go. You guys see this, the new movie, Sound of Freedom? All of the drama surrounding it. It's been wild. The only thing I want to reference about the movie is I haven't seen it yet, but there's a buddy of mine. His dad owns a pest control company here in town. Been around for like 20 plus years. He has never he's never spent a single dollar on marketing or advertising. None whatsoever. And I've always asked him why. Like, you do a fantastic job. Like, you would explode. Like, it's just him, his son, and I think that's it. That's as big as the business is. And he goes, I only focus on word of mouth. It's the best type of advertising. And I've heard as a kid, I was like, that just seems absurd. But Sound of Freedom, low budget, not being pushed by any of the big stream media, no marketing whatsoever, is being slung at us by word of mouth through TikTok, whatever you have. What made me think of this? I was driving home today, and there was a sign on the bridge, a little paper sign that says, "Go watch Sound of Freedom." I go, my goodness, word of mouth is way more powerful than any type of advertising you can spend. So that's my little tidbit for you today. If you're running a company, word of mouth is more powerful than anything else. And look, I could speak to that as well, too. I've run other shows and other channels, and we've tried advertising and spending money on ads, and the best success we've had is you guys saying, hey, how much you love the show, and telling your friends how great this show is. So thank you guys for always spreading the word of mouth and showing your love and appreciation. It means a lot. But we'll see. Yeah, Northwestern. Nacho Dex says, great movie. Go watch it. The libs hate it, so it must be good. Yeah, fair enough. Sound of Freedom is worth a watch. I want to watch it. I plan on watching it. I really do. Obviously, it's about, we're getting a little weird here. We're getting a little dark. I don't mean to. But not weird. I get more on dark. But obviously, I don't know if I can say it. I don't get banned. But I'm sure you guys are aware of it. What it's about. It makes me sick. It's partly why I haven't seen it yet, because it'll just been pissed, to be honest with you. Disney Disney tried to bury it. Yes, Disney tried to bury it. Netflix, all the big guys try to bury it. So best marketing is wearing high top hat at a World Series. That is phenomenal marketing, Travis. Kudos to Trav for rocking the high top sports hat to the College World Series. Pretty cool to think about that, dude. Like that thought process, that a brand and a clothing line and that hat, that hat wasn't just like it's got a story behind it. The hats were, my buddy and I, Ricky, we love hats. We went to North Carolina, bought an Old Smoky hat. We loved the hat, fell in love with the hat. I reached out to the company on the side of the hat, built a relationship with them, said, hey, I want to get some hats. Had to buy 48 hats, had to go in the red to buy these hats because you had to buy 48 in bulk. And I go, I'm going to buy these hats. I got an investment from a buddy of mine. I go, hey, I trust me, I'll sell these hats, I promise. And we ended up selling every single one of those hats. There's only 48 of them ever made. There's like 24 black and 24 orange and blue. And they're all gone. Whether they were given away or sold, they're all gone. So it's cool. It's really cool to kind of think about that and see how, the fact that one of those hats, how it started, right, is now at the College World Series is pretty incredible. Thoughts on World on Mac and where he's going? I think he's going to Texas. I think I put it in the Discord today. I think I said Texas lock. High top spacesuits. I mean, come on, Scott. You know what I mean? I got to figure out. I want to get a higher quality spacesuit. I have looked. I love my spacesuit, but if I could walk in this bitch with like a legit spacesuit, right? Like I would be all in. You know, I really would. I really would. Travis, you got 1 of 24. You really do, dude. Like, it's wild to think about. Like, I kind of get a little, like, lackadaisical with my hats at the time, but that hat, I'm always like, oh, where's that hat, babe? Because I don't have any more of those. Like, it's not, I can just make, like, the other hats that I have with little pigs on them. My neighbor helped me make those. I can just go to him real quick. Hey, can you make me 6 more? No big deal. Those hats, not the same. Not the same. Bucket hats? I mean, maybe I can put something together. Third and visor. I know you guys want a bunch of stuff. High top shoulder pads. There's just so many things. So many things. Ooh. Well, boys, girls, ladies and gents, thank you guys for coming over and hanging out with me tonight. It means a lot. High top space t-shirts. I know, Q-Lee. I know. I know. I know. Hey, you guys rock as always. Again, appreciate you guys always coming in here and hanging out with me. Having over 400 people on a Monday, it's always a blessing. It really is. So thank you guys. Love you guys. Chris, yeah, hit me up, man. Shoot me a message. Not my email. Do you have my number, Chris? I need to get your number. We just need the email shit. I don't always check my email. High top condoms. That's something I can get behind, Ty. Okay, high top condoms. When pigs fly, right? You'll get her pregnant. I mean, it's like basically foolproof. You know what I'm saying? I love that. Put a little piggy on the sides so he grows. All right, we're getting weird. This is why I'm over the limit here. You know what I mean? The comment section's wild, bro. The comment section just is it never fails. You know? How about some exclusive merch for the Discord members? Not a bad idea, Nick. That actually is a really good idea. I actually like that a lot. I don't know how to show you guys much appreciation besides, you know, just giving love in the chat every now and then. But I love that. I actually love that idea. I do. Maybe how about this? I'll give all the people that are part of the Discord high top condoms. That'll be your gift. Protection. I mean, what else do you need? Well, Allie's in there. Well, she's got 4 kids. She'll use them. Oh man. I'm dying here. I'm sweating. Fucking sweating. I love it. This is the greatest show ever. I'm sure some people were like, what's happening here? Like, what are we doing? How did we get to this point? You know what I mean? Truth about the email. Yeah, I'm bad about my emails. I'm bad about texting. But I'm bad at Trav, you still don't have your hoodie? Jesus. Shoot me a text, Trav. I'm sorry, Bubba. I'm horrible, boys. I love it here, guys. I really do. I can sit here and talk to you guys. I'm crying. I'm crying too. Oh my. Oh lordy, lordy, lordy. I can't believe that it's got to this point. You need a spacesuit like the Tampa Bay Lightning fan, full helmet and all. I know I do. I need a legit one. I'm allergic to condoms. All right, we got to stop. Best show in the tube. Got that raw dog in them. This is incredible. Getting weird. It's been weird for a while. Oh my God. Now the likes are starting to flow. Oh, man. I love it. I love how it's getting weird, but nobody's leaving. You know what I mean? They're just kind of waiting to see, like, is this shit going to go off the rails? You know what I mean? But yeah, we're getting off the rails here because Holly is here to distract us. All right, I gotta go before I get canceled. I'll go too far and say some dumb shit here. Look, guys, appreciate you guys as always. Stop by, hanging out. Drop a like. Let your friends know. Word of mouth. Best thing. Gators after dark. I love it. You guys have a good night. We might go live tomorrow. We have some good work on news. I don't know anymore. Right? Stay tuned. Drop a like. Turn the bell on. Obviously, live Wednesday, 8:35 with Princely. We got a lot lined up for you guys. Love you guys. Be good.
I got something to prove. I gotta take what I hate and finally make a move. I think of you and all the shit you don't do. Well, I'ma make hella sure that I don't become